Hello, today I'm going to be doing the mammal kidney dissection. I'm going to be reading off of my definitions of notes. I can share them with you if you need me to. So first off, we're going to be starting off with the calyx, which is a cup-shaped area that's inside of the kidney. There's a small one, which is called the minor callus, and that collects urine and it drains it into the bigger ones, which is the major calluses. That's going to be right here. You can see it's kind of like a little indent. And then there's the hilus, which is the doorway on the kidney where the blood vessels and the ureter go in, and where they go in and out. And the ureter's right there. I accidentally cut it off. And the hilus is right there. And then there's the renal artery, which is a tough outer... Oh, no. The renal artery is the big blood vessel that brings fresh oxygen-filled blood from the abdominal aorta straight to the kidney. And that is... Sorry about that. That is right over here. Major artery. Then there is the renal capsule, which is a tough outer layer that wraps around the kidney to protect it and help it keep its shape. Renal capsule. You can kind of see the different colors. And then there's a renal corpuscle, which is part of the nephron where blood gets filtered, and it's basically the glomerulus surrounded by a capsule. And that is down here. And then we're going to move on to the renal lobe, which is one section of the kidney that contains a bit of the cortex and the columns around it. So that's going to be over here. You have the cortex, medulla, and then the lobe. Like that's just, the lobe is the overall thing. And then the renal medulla is the inner part of the kidney where the renal pyramids are found. So the medulla is going to be over here, and then the cortex is going to be over here. But this section right here, if you pretend that there's a line right there, that's the lobe. And then you have the renal papilla, which is the tip or the point of a renal pyramid where the urine drains out into a minor calyx, which is tip right there. And then you have the renal pelvis, which is the big funnel-like space in the kidney that collects all the urine from the major calluses before it heads into the urine. And that is going to be down here, right under that cup-shaped callus. And then you have the renal pyramid, which is a cone-shaped chunk of the kidney that collects all of the urine from the major calluses before it heads into the ureter. And that is going to be right there. Then you'll have the renal vein, which is also over here. If you can see, it's also over there, that's the blood vessel that carries filtered blood away from the kidney back into the inferior vena cava. And then you have the ureter, I accidentally cut it off. And that's the tube that carries urine from the kidney to the bladder. And the kidney is always producing urine, even when you don't have to go pee.